Okay, now that I have my book cloth made, I'm ready to glue it to my cardboard to make my cover. And in order to do that, I need to cut this to size. And since I have an image, I'm going to use a piece of tracing paper to help me with that. You could see my tracing paper, if I lay it over my cardboard, is 3/4 of an inch on both sides. So it's 1.5 inches longer and taller than my cardboard in total. That will give me a 3/4 inch border all the way around. So for mine, what I'm going to do is use the tracing paper so I could see my image, get that centered. Now that my image is centered, for this to help me keep this in place, I'm actually going to use some straight pins to pin the paper to the cloth so it's not moving around while I am cutting. And then once this is pinned down, I will cut it out. Okay, now that my paper is cut, I'm going to use the back now and lay out guidelines for my cardboard. Since this is tracing paper, it's going to help to have some lines for where I'm actually placing this. So like I said before, we're going to have a 3/4 inch border all the way around. And remember, these are guidelines. It's going to help you to get these pretty accurate. So when you are gluing, you're not trying to figure out where things go. Line it up in there and trace where the inside's going to go. And now I have that laid out. And then the spine piece will just go in between there. Now the next thing I need to do, I need to cut the corners at a 45-degree angle. I don't want to cut, you could see here, I have my point. I don't want to cut right next to the point. This will help when I'm folding it over. I want to leave about 1/8 of an inch here. So when I cut this off, what I'm going to do is just leave a little bit there, about 1/8 of an inch. And I'm going to do that all the way around. You want to leave that little bit of fabric there so you don't have a gap when you're folding these. Okay, so the next step is going to be actually gluing everything together. And you see I have several things prepared. I have my cardboard, I have some PVA glue and a brush and some water. I have 2 pieces of wax paper so the glue doesn't stick to that. And then I have 2 boards. The boards are going to be pressing this together once it's glued to keep it from shifting around. And then I'm going to have my bone folder handy. That helps me press things together. So what I'm going to do, and you have to work quickly when you're doing this, is you want to brush over the whole area. Where the cardboard's going to go. Make sure you don't slop a bunch of glue off the edge. And spread this out so it's even. I did add a little bit of water to the glue to help it spread faster, but you don't want to put too much water in. And then I could put some glue on my cardboard. Again, working just right off the edge. You always want to go off the edge and not onto it so you're not balling up glue on the side. And then we want to place this. I could see my guidelines. Then what we're going to do is brush a little bit of glue off the edges of our folds as we fold this. And you're going to push in the center and really push this to make sure it is stuck. Wipe away the extra glue. It's good to have your bone folder handy so you could really press that. And making sure you're wiping things off, and you continue around the whole thing. I'll do this side now. Now what I'm going to do is fold the top and bottom over. You'll see how I treat the corners to make them nice. Make sure you get a little bit of glue in the corners there. And what's going to end up happening here, you're going to pinch this corner in there and then fold it over the top. Helps use the bone folders to tuck these corners in. Now that this is all pressed down, wipe away any excess glue that you have. Make sure there's not a bunch of glue balled up in the seams here. One thing that helps is take your bone folder and pinch down right here on either side of the spine a little bit. Okay, and you will see our cover here. But what we're going to do so it dries nice, so you could already see it's warping a little bit because of the moisture of the glue. I like to take some tissue paper and put it in between the tissue paper. I'm going to take this other board, press it down, put some weight on here. And then we're going to let this sit overnight so it dries nice and flat, and then the next step will be the last step, which will be joining our signatures into our cover.